Now, adding to our conversation, a very important piece to this puzzle, food. Welcome, Tamie.
Thanks, Lisa.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys at the food bank do.
Well, in a nutshell, we nourish our neighbors. We serve about 4,000 people a month. That's about 100 households a day. And it's a range of people, could be just about anybody. About 33% of our clients are children.
Well, we just saw the video about Kate. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a bit about people like that? Because there is this, again, a stigma or an understanding that only certain people, need the food bank.
Yeah, and as Lawrence and Randy both pointed out, I think there are real stereotypes and real stigmas. And why I like Kate so much is because Kate is just so relatable. She's just a little girl whose father lost his job. The family's sold what they can, and now they're in a position to need the food bank. Another reason I love Kate so much is because she's a great way to introduce people perhaps to food banks. I'm going to be doing a presentation at a daycare in a couple weeks. And when I was approached to do that, I thought, well, what kind of way can I bring a message about a food bank to these young children? And what better way to do that than with Kate? I'm hoping the kids can kind of understand who she is. And I don't know how much they'll be able to relate, but even if they take Kate home to their folks and talk to their mom and dad, hey, I saw this video today and this lady came and talked about the food bank, then maybe we can have Kate's the children's parents join us at the food bank as volunteers or perhaps donate.
Well, then if there's a Kate in their class,
which they very well
could better understanding
absolutely
towards how easy it can happen to somebody. Yeah. Let's talk numbers. So across Canada, what are we looking at for hunger?
Well, Hunger Count 2018 was just released on February 5th, and 1.1 million visits to food banks from coast to coast to coast. It's an alarming number.
Again, what?
1.1 million visits to food banks across Canada.
Wow. Okay, that's it. That's mind-boggling.
And those statistics are fairly in line with ours. Well, our statistics are fairly in line with Hunger Count. 35% are children.
Wow. So we were talking a bit with Lawrence and Randy about money, and I know it's one of those things where it's, people want to donate what they want to donate. But what you guys can do with the money is amazing, because if I gave you $10, tell me what you could do with that.
Well, we can take that $10 and multiply it by 3. And that is thanks to great partnerships with grocers. So and we need cash for many things. We do need to keep the lights on as well at the food bank. We do need to be able to continue to provide the services. But with the relationships that we have, we really can turn cash into such a powerful tool in simply buying food.
Now, how do you work with these guys?
Well, we support Metro and the Gospel Mission simply by giving them food. A couple of the fellows from the Gospel Mission were actually in our warehouse today picking up some items to be able to take back to the Gospel Mission. And we do that with about 40 organizations in town.
Okay, and how important is this kind of relationship here? Go ahead, Lawrence, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I think it's critical. We can't do what we do without partnerships. And I think with the food bank, we've had an incredible partnership for years now where we might have an emergency need and we can pick up the phone and just say, hey, this unexpectedly has come up, can you step in and help us? And they might have something in reserve, or they can source something for us at the last minute. And if it's not that, it's just that usual sort of rhythm of being able to supply basic necessities that we then pass on to people who are in need. And so we might be getting somebody into housing, or it might be in our drop-in center, but whatever it is, we have a very close working relationship.
And who else do you guys work with?
We support Salvation Army, we support Mamas for Mamas. We have breakfast programs throughout School District 23. We create snack packs for kids for when they come into the food bank. Our reach is pretty significant.
So, and lots of times you go to an event, charity event, and they say, well, bring a non-perishable food item. And what kinds of items do you actually want, and what ones could you guys go without?
What we want in regards to food is, I think it's pretty easy to remember: peanut butter, pastas, pasta sauces, cans of tuna, cans of veggies, and fruits. One thing I like to say to people is that if you are going to donate food, put a bunch of things in a bag that would make a meal, make a complete meal, because we can take perishables as well.
So don't donate creamed corn or the just the things that you don't use in your cupboard. You want to use or donate things that people will use that you would use.
Yeah.
Right.
And
we're talking about dignity again.
Yeah. And when you talk about dignity, I'm not sure how many people know what our food bank even looks like. You came for a tour, and were you surprised?
What I was surprised about was it looked like a grocery store. So what I really liked about that, and that's kind of what with Lawrence, the kind of things that you guys do in at the Gospel Mission too, it's that kind of dignity where you get in, there's a shopping cart there. So right away you feel like you're in charge. You're not in a mess hall where people are like, they're shopping and different sections. There's the freezer section, there's the kids section, there's the bakery, and I loved that because it did, if I was someone utilizing the food bank, I would feel very safe and comfortable doing that.
Yeah. And the other thing I like to talk about when we're talking about the market is just the integral part our volunteers play, like both of your organizations play in the uplifting of all of our clients. To see quite often, when our clients arrive, of course they're dealing with some tough circumstances, and quite often their body language really does show that. And our volunteers are just so great at taking them through the market, assisting them through the choices that they can make. And when they leave, you can see that our clients feel better. And it is about empowerment and dignity and making them feel like it's going to be okay. Yeah.
But one thing too I forgot to mention with you, Lawrence, was one thing I really, really liked was when you did the Christmas banquet. Because the Christmas banquet, it looked like it was decorated, it was beautiful, but you had real servers, and it was just like a normal, beautiful banquet. You didn't just put everybody in a gymnasium and, had the hats and here's some slop for you. It was, here you go, you deserve this beautiful meal, and it was a beautiful meal. Like, you want to talk about what you guys did there?
Yeah, and I think that's very much what we did with our recent February feast that we called it. But I think, same kind of idea. People will value what they receive if the experience is dignifying, because there is an uplifting kind of process where people understand, hey, I'm worthy of this. Yeah, I'm worthy of this. This isn't something that simply is just being thrown at me. There's actually a deeper exchange going on, and I think whether it's pushing a cart around a shop or a grocery store at the food bank, whether it's engaging in one of our organization's events where, we are so focused on the humanity of that person and wanting them to experience, not just a meal, but an engagement, a conversation, an experience of community. And so we, especially at Metro for us, I can speak on our behalf, and I know it's true for both of these organizations, we just want people to understand that when they come into the doors of our organizations, or when they come to an event, that they are a family, that they belong. And I think, again, when we can collaborate with those similar sets of values, our entire community, our entire city, our entire valley, neighborhoods change. And our volunteers, often you'll find, actually cross over. So they might volunteer at the food bank or at the Gospel Mission, but they'll come and serve at one of our banquets or at one of our services. So we do actually have a lot of cross-pollination in that way.
Right. I want to talk to you guys for a second about the working poor. So there is a big population in places like Kelowna, because housing is a big issue for all types of income. And some people are working 2 or 3 types of jobs. Now, are they not able to access your services at places like the food bank if they have, if they're just, on paper it looks like they have money, but maybe they, can't actually access, enough money for food?
Well, for us, poverty is definitely at the root of why someone would turn to a food bank for assistance. And we find that many of our clients are exactly who you're describing. They do have at times 2 jobs, but again, it costs a lot to live here. Groceries are increasing, or the prices of groceries are increasing, and it can be really, really tough to make ends meet.
So who gets turned away?
We try to make sure that anybody who turns to us for food gets food.
Okay, so is there anything in this conversation that we've missed that, because I really want to, stress on the fact that all year long people are in need. So in these, winter months, past Christmas, when, everybody's, the holiday spirit is kind of faded, and if you're getting into that kind of seasonal affect kind of situation, especially here in the Okanagan, how can people be more intentional about knowing that these services are here year-round and that you guys need that year-round support? Randy?
For me, I think it's, first of all, looking at my own situation and every day being thankful for what I have, and then reminding myself that not everybody is as fortunate as I am, and how can I reach out to those people. So I think we have to get into the mindset to daily remind ourselves that life's and the world's not all about us. There's other people out there, and if we can start living that lifestyle, the opportunities will come across, to reach out and help our neighbors.
For me, I think it would be to simply invite people to come to the food bank and experience what it is like you did. Mm-hmm. I think that is really, really impactful. And I think people just get the feeling when they're there, or perhaps understand that it really could be anybody, and maybe it is their neighbor. But I think it's also great for people to see what it is we're able to do with their donations, and they can see that when they are at the food bank.
In action.
I think there's a couple of great stories from ancient cultures that I absolutely love. I think there's certain ancient cultures that had this practice where they would store up some of their hard-earned work, and then at certain portions of the year, at certain times of the year, they would give it away. And there would be 4 or 5 times of the year that ancient cultures would do that, and usually around harvest seasons and when they were planting and sowing and all those things. But I think the principle is fantastic. Not every one of us is going to remember every single day to be generous or to seek out somebody else who's less fortunate than ourselves. And we don't necessarily always have time to go to these organizations. But we can be strategic across the year. And I think personally, like Randy said, I think that I want to encourage people, when you're walking down the street, when you're going for that lunch break, when you come across somebody that perhaps you would normally not interface with, you would not normally have something in common with, that maybe you just would take that time to buy someone a coffee, or just say, hey, what's your story? Are you okay? Can I help you? And just that simple interaction of being seen is so powerful for people. It provides hope. And I think hope is a very poorly sourced commodity in our culture today. And people, it's in short supply. And I think that whether it's the winter months or the summer months, we have excuses that we create as to why we can walk past people and why we can ignore them and hope they didn't see us. But what if we just made a point of actually engaging with people, and just in the simplest acts of kindness, restored a sense of hope? There's a beautiful saying that I love to repeat, and that is that the mark of a healthy community is really, or the measurement of a healthy community is based on how we treat the most vulnerable among us. And I think if we can do that individually, one by one, don't look to the government, don't look to the city, don't look to the agencies that do that work. Start with yourself, start with your children, demonstrate and model it for others. And it can be the simplest acts of love and kindness, and it brings about hope. And that in turn changes our entire society.
Well, thank you guys for everything that you do here in the community.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Can I let folks know that they can donate securely online at cofoodbank.com?
Yeah. How do we give you money?
Well, like all of our organizations, all of us have websites. We all have means that you can donate online. And again, we encourage you to be generous. Let's be a culture that's generous. And every single one of the organizations represented on this chair, on this couch, do incredible work. And I would love to see people just be generous.
Yeah, even if it's generous with their time.
Mm-hmm.
So Metro, Gospel Mission, Food Bank. Those are the ways that you can write your checks to. Thanks you guys so much.